So, as you know, if you're a longtime listener of the show, Q and I, we sift through news articles and online content, and we try to bring you journalistically credible content that is based in fact, that is well researched, that we can stand by. We don't always get it right, but that is the intent of all the programming that we create, the intention behind it, rather. And every so often, we come across something that just feels kind of special. And this topic, it's one of those. So there's no article to go with it. And, for those that have been listening to the show for some time, this might feel like a departure, but my hope is that you'll appreciate this the way that Q and I both appreciated it. One of the things that I think it's important to share with you is that on this show, Q and I have long stated that a truth, a fundamental truth, not just in the context of this program or our programs collectively, but in the context, in like scientific context even, that Black women are as close to God as you can get on this planet. Indeed, Black women brought forth Homo sapiens sapiens. And we affirm and will continue to that Black women deserve our support and our protections. So this is in that spirit. I also want to mention that in framing this segment last week, we had to deal with some news that was very disappointing. Black women have suffered the largest ever job loss in the history of the United States in the last 6 months under President Donald Trump. Please go back and check out our previous shows. If you have access to a podcast, we are the QR code, and all of our archive shows are uploaded. And you can also check out anything you may have missed. But this thread felt a little bit special. Again, this is white women apologizing to Black women. So we came across this. The creator of this thread is a woman named @WildGina on Twitter, and I'll share a few of them, and then Q, you can share the rest of the time with our listeners. It starts by WildGina putting a post up saying, "White women, apologize below to Black women without centering yourself. I want to see what y'all come up with." Okay. And just so you know, I'm reading this from my phone just because it's one of those. Okay. The first response is from Heather and Two Girls. It says, "I'm sorry for perceiving loudness as anger." The next is from Alexis Drott. "I'm sorry to the Black women that we have undermined your consistent work to build community." The next one from Gina Catherine _ says, "Dear Black women, I'm deeply sorry that the healthcare system, the education system, the workplace diminish and devalue your presence. I'm sorry that the rules for anger and grief are different or not acceptable for you than white women. I'm sorry that more threatening than a bear or a man is a white woman. I'm shamefully sorry how long I was blind to these truths and more." The next one comes from Erica Rose 11111. "I'm sorry I ever believed in the quote, I don't see color, unquote, crap I was taught growing up in the 80s. The next one's from MN Matriarch, says, "From the depths of my soul, I am sorry for the pain we have caused and continue to cause Black women. Time and again, you give grace where none is deserved." Saleha _27, "Dear Black women, from a Native woman, I'm sorry that you had to also be freed from my ancestors as well. I'm sorry some of you weren't recognized for your contributions to our tribes until generations too late. And I'm sorry that today we are somehow taken better care of than y'all are. You deserve reparations. I can never redeem what you deserved from the beginning. All I can do is say, I see you and I stand with you now." Metro P. Retro.P. "I'm so sorry that motherhood has been stolen from you in ways that we cannot fathom. Whether that was nursing white babies while yours were taken away from you, lack of care, negligent health care, and mortality rates of pregnant Black women, violent testing and experimentation in the name of lies / the guise of medical advancement / discovery, all the way to the anxiety you must feel as your children navigate a world built on your backs but not built for them. I'm sorry your peace was decimated." And yet you have persevered, thrived, and created families, chosen or otherwise, that are enviable from all other cultures, home, safety, love, and lessons. It's from caffeinated underscore book babe. Dear Black women, I Q1, let's get your thoughts here.
This segment would have to be about 365 days long for us to possibly get to the amount of apologies owed to and necessary to bring forth any amount of actual reckoning to Black women in this country. They have had to be the backbone. They have had to be the shelter. They have had to be the umbrella. They have had to be the voice, the North Star, the guide, the teacher, the nurse, the mother, the sister, the wife, uh, the head of household, because of a system developed and pushed forward by our government, which incentivized the absent father in the household for fiscal benefit. They have had to bear the brunt of being a double, sometimes triple minority in a country that has always targeted and marginalized minorities. They've done all of that with a smile on their face. And for every other marginalized or subjugated group, they've always been first to show up, first to speak up, first to raise a hand to protect, first to lend a hand to help, first to wrap an arm around to cover everyone else all the time, while being the most highly educated and most qualified. They're first looked over and most often passed over. This last presidential race was a great example, when the most qualified candidate for president in the history of a country is brought to the center and the front of the room to be read all the ways that she falls short, while the least competent, least qualified white man in the history of the presidency wins a second term, and nobody raises to question the lack of qualification, the lack of experience, the lack of basic humanity and decency. We got to see in real time what it means to be a Black woman in America. And when the competition or the standard is always the heterosexual Christian white man, the Black woman, no matter how she aligns in those other categories, is always going to be compared less favorably. Yet, when this country or its people need saving, guidance, prayer, direction, food, protection, tutelage, the Black woman is the first turned to and the first to show up. There could not have been enough apologies there. And you can't say sorry in enough ways to ever make them whole or to ever provide enough repair. But I'm so glad that someone is at least trying to do so.